And let's give a warm welcome to the founder of 92 Hands, Emmanuel Trinity, who came all the way from Uganda.
Good evening, everybody. How is everyone doing? Good, right? You should be feeling good. I bring warm greetings from Uganda. I realized it was also warm here, so it works either way. I'm so privileged to be in front of you because I shouldn't be here if everything went the other way. But I'm here because someone gave me hope. I'm here because someone gave me hope. All the way back in 1992, my story began. I was born to a single mother, and my mom was abused at the age of 17, and she got pregnant. When she got pregnant, she was kicked out of her home, and my dad also denied the pregnancy. So my mom was stuck in the middle with a 3-month born child, and that was me. Because she didn't have money, she didn't have anything, education, she had to leave the village where she was born to come to the city, Kampala, to find a better life for the child. When she came to the city, because she didn't have money or any savings, she had to sleep under the tree for about 3 months until she got to know of a community called Kosovo. Kosovo was one of the worst slums in Kampala because it was named after the Kosovo of Yugoslavia. How many of you know Kosovo in Yugoslavia? So because of the similarities of the injustices, the crime that was happening in the slums, the local leaders called it Kosovo. It was characterized with crime, violence, witchcraft, and lots of gangs. My mom loved me so much that she wanted to make sure that I don't end up like all the other kids in the slums. So she had to protect me even though she didn't have money to put me through school. So that's me and my lovely mom. I was just 4 years old, and I wasn't in school because she didn't have the money to put me through school. So she had to take me to her workplace every single day to protect me from the dangers of the slum. She did this for a couple of years until she got a job that required her to leave the slums to go and work in the city. And they did over there. So my mom left me behind to go and work in this job as a waitress. And that's when I was vulnerable and opened up to join one of the worst gangs. So normally the kids who never joined school, they ended up in prostitution if they were girls. They ended up in gangs if they were boys. At the age of 9, with 6 of my friends were recruited to become gang members. Were trained at a very little age to fight other gangs, to steal, and to use substances. Within 6 months of joining the gang, 4 of my friends got killed through mob justice and gang fights. I knew that I didn't want my life to end up like that, but there was no choice. You could not quit the gang. Once you quit, they come after you, beat you up, and torture you. So I was stuck in the gangs for 4 years, between the age of 9 and the age of 13. And the only way I was able to be rescued or leave these gangs, it was very unfortunate that our gang leader had to be killed. When he went out to steal, he was caught and beaten to death by the mob justice. That's the only chance we got to run away to the nearby church that was being launched in the community. And that's why we found hope. In the meantime, there was a group of missionaries coming from Northern Ireland, and they had come to build a school for street children. And as they were walking by, they found us hiding, me and my friend. And that's when they found us. For me that day, one important thing happened to me. A lady that was working with the street children and building this school in the slums looked in my eyes and asked me, "What's one thing that I can give you, young boy, that you never go back on the streets?" And that time I really wanted to put my hands on the computer because I wanted to play games. So I told her, if you give me a computer, I promise you'll never see me on the streets. And she said, you know what? We'll give you a computer. If that's what you think will get you off the streets. So that's me after 2 weeks of being rescued from the streets. They gave me clothes, food, and I also received my computer. That's one of the best gifts I ever received in my life. But most importantly, during that time, I also received the gift of Christ. I gave my life to Christ at the age of 13. And that's how I started my journey of transformation. Soon enough, I realized that, you know what? The computer, I had to do more things than just play games, because I just wanted to play games when I asked for it. And started realizing that I can actually learn website development, graphic designing, and all that stuff. So I started training myself using tutorials on the internet. There was no YouTube in the early 2000s. And I became really good at it. So between the age of 13 and the age of 19, I became one of the best graphic designers, because I was posting my work on Facebook and all those platforms. In the slums, you could be very talented, smart, but because of the structure of the slums, you might never ever get an opportunity. But I was lucky that a guy who was marketing for Coca-Cola stumbled upon my posters online, and they messaged me and they gave me an opportunity to work with Coca-Cola. So at the age of 19, I got my first job that was paying me $300. In Uganda, that's a lot of money still today. And as soon as I got this job, I realized how my life quickly transformed. From just a boy that was on the streets, in the slums, to now be able to provide for my mom, my family, and be able to sponsor my siblings through school. And I also was able to rent a nice house outside the slums for my mom. We left the slums. In the meantime, as these things happened, I was working outside the slums, my life was transforming. But because of the structure of the slums, many of my friends that I grew up with were stuck in the vicious cycle of poverty. I know young kids that were being beaten or taken through child sacrifice, young girls that were going through prostitution by name. And it became unsettling for me. But I was helpless, I couldn't do anything. But I started praying to God. I started, because of this, vicious, strong responsibility that I received on my heart, on how I can go and help my friends. So one day, as I was reading the Bible, I came upon this verse in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 10, and it said, "As each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace." So as a crazy young Christian, I said, you know what? Maybe I should quit my work and go back to the slums and use my skills of graphic designing to help friends in the slums. That's what was in my head. And guess what? After 6 months of contemplating, I quit my work at Coca-Cola and went back to the slums. And the reason why I went back to the slums was, one, to stop the violence, to stop the child sacrifice, to stop all the injustice that I was growing up seeing. I just took a leap of faith and quit my work. But as I tell you, whatever God uses, He's not looking for your ability, He's looking for your availability. When I quit my work, I didn't have money, I didn't have so many savings, but I just availed myself to be used by God. And that's what He did. So God gave me the idea of Era 92. As you knew, guys, I was born in 1992. So Era is my time here on earth that I dedicated to using service of others that God will bring in my community. And that's what happened. Era 92 was designed to use my skill set to train young people in graphic design and website development, to rescue mothers who are struggling with their babies, to sponsor children in the slums. That was their entire idea. So Era 92 became a conglomerate social enterprise that is changing the stories of young people and single mothers in the slums across Uganda. And we do this through 4 organizations. The first one is what we call Era 92 Elevate, where I go up in the slums, give young people the rightful skill sets in graphic designing, website development, And actually, we employ those young people to work for companies here in the United States and the UK. We have Era 92 Creative, which is a creative agency that is employing young people from the slums to work as designers, virtual assistants for people here in the United States. The third company is Era 92 Fund, which employs or gives people asset financing and loans for them to start their own small businesses. But tonight, I'm here to talk to you about one simple organization, and that's the foundation that I started, called 92 Hands. 92 Hands was started in the honor of my mom, because I knew and I saw how she struggled to raise me, to put food on the table. And when I grew up and I reflected on how many women and the kids that you've seen on the screen and how they struggle, it's because of poverty. That their parents could not provide for them, they ended up on the streets. My mom loved me so much, but I still ended up on the streets. And those are the many issues that we hear from the communities. So with that, I realized, how can we use what we have to help others realize what they have? And for me, what came to my heart was like, what if we find these mothers in the slums that are struggling to put food on the table, help them and start a business, and get kids who are on the streets to be taken care of by these mothers. So that's the idea that came to our mind, and it actually worked. So in 2022, I started this organization, and we were working with single mothers, sponsoring kids. And I came across this friend of mine, Mr. Kam. I don't know where he is. He listened to my story and he reached out, and he told me about what A Child's Hope was doing. And I shared also the vision that I had for my community. And the vision was very simple. I didn't have money to start an orphanage then, but I had a heart to actually help and love these kids. So our solution was simple. We got mothers in the communities, which we called adopted mothers, who adopt these kids and take care of them. So they found us with one home, and we were struggling to make these things happen. But they told us about the program, they took us to a training, they met our team, and it's been amazing. Since then, we've seen tremendous change in the lives of young people that have gone through this program. To date, we have over 7 homes across 3 slums that are taking care of over 40 orphans in the slums. And this has been because of the simple idea and the heart for us to change our communities and to love these kids. But most importantly, the program of A Child's Hope that came and gave us the rightful training for our team to take care of these children. And so that's a little bit of that story. God has done so amazing things through a Renegade group. The impact today, as you can see right now, those are the mothers, very beautiful, enjoying love, education, care, and everything a child could imagine, hope for. That's what I needed when I was still young. So much has happened to date. We've seen over 85 young people are trained by our companies. We have created over 3,700 skilled jobs for young people. We have given out over 700 assets. This is loans that have been given to single mothers to start their own small businesses. And we've seen at least $5.6 million in earned revenue for the young people that have gotten jobs through our organizations. Hundreds have received capital. We are training in 6 communities. Hundreds have received Christ. Hundreds are working with global companies. And God has been amazing. Recently, just before I came here, guys, we've launched one of the biggest hubs that is going to be working in training and employing young people in the slums. This is actually close to the middle of the slums in Kampala. And we've been able to design something beautiful that is going to shape the minds of young people. Today, as I'm speaking, we are working in 6 communities, and at any given point of time, we are reaching over 2,000 people. These are mothers, children that we are sponsoring, kids that we are employing, and people that are accessing loans through our programs. But one simple thing that is not changing still is that we are still working in such communities. Most of our young people that you've heard, that you've seen on the screens, are still living in such communities, even though we are bringing care and everything. But God has given us a dream. The last 3 years, we were able to purchase 20 acres, and last year, we added on 10 acres. So right now, we are seated on 30 acres, where we're going to be building beautiful homes, that every child that we rescue from the slums will be reintegrated into a space that is loving, nice, and nurturing for them to be able to dream bigger. So that's our next step, and I will end my story from there. The only reason why I'm here tonight is to share about this important message, the power of one. I would honestly believe that if everyone helped just one person, lots of people would be helped. I, myself, standing in front of you here, I'm here because someone helped me. I'm here because someone gave me hope. And so many times, we really forget the power of one. It shouldn't be a lot of people. Imagine the lady who gave me a computer and rescued me off the streets. Imagine the crowns and the impact of the lives that have just gone because of one boy. And that's the message I want to leave tonight. Is that today, if you choose to give hope to only one child, you will never know what that child will do in the next 20 years. You'll never know thousands of people that will be helped because of one seed that you're going to sow tonight. I'm here standing in front of you because someone helped. I believe in the future, one child, the one that we've seen on screen, will stand in an audience because you helped. So please, do not give up hope of giving hope. Thank you.
Trinity, you are an inspiration.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Come back up. I hope you guys heard those numbers, that his businesses have generated $5.6 million in revenue to bless the lives of 3,700 people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys.